Your spouse is going to test you to no limit. So those that are single that want to be married, get yourself together, baby. Get yourself together with God. You're going to have to bring a bag of patience. You have to bring some other stuff in your bags, and the things that you didn't know you had in your bag. Like when mom and them told you was the greatest thing on earth and your husband say your boo-boo really does stink, you're going to have to deal with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So these triggers and patterns come as a result of the things that we've had for a long time and we brought into the marriage, and then we have to deal with this stuff.
Yes.
Layer by layer.
Marriage Reloaded. Triggers and Patterns starts now.
Hello. And we want to welcome you to the Marriage Reloaded podcast. We're so excited. We're really excited to be with you today. And so I want to welcome you. My name is James Richardson, and of course, my beautiful wife.
I am Trypehena Richardson.
I like to let her say her own name. You know, I usually call her Smook. That's our little nickname. We call each other Smook. Smook. I don't really hardly call her Trypehena. I call her Trypehena when I'm serious, but but most of the time we just call each other Smook.
Yes.
You know. But anyway, that's our little nickname. She made that up. I don't even know what that means, but I know for me it means I love you.
When you look at your spouse and you see, you just say, "You look like Smook to me."
Smook. I look like Smook.
That's my schmook.
Okay, and you're my schmook too. I love you.
I love you too.
So but we're so blessed to be with you today.
Yes, we
and
are.
So we want to remind you today to like and subscribe to the channel. And so that you won't miss any of the episodes of this podcast, and also you can see some of the other content that is being shown on the Kingdom Rock Network.
Yes.
And so we had been on a series for some time called Communication, Intimacy, and Money. And so we ended that series. It had 8 parts to it, but we've ended that series. So you can go and you can watch any of those episodes, or you can watch all of them on kingdomrock.org. When you go on there, all you have to do is click on my face. And when you click on my face, it will take you to all of the episodes that we did on that series. It's a wonderful series. We really enjoy sharing the information with you.
Yes.
You'll learn some things about communication. You'll learn some things about intimacy, and you'll definitely learn some things about money and marriage.
Absolutely. And you'll learn some other things. There's some other messages that are on there that are so powerful.
Yes.
So check them out as well. But go on the Kingdom Rock.
Yes.
Network.
The Kingdom Rock Network is awesome.
Yes, it is.
But today we're going to be starting a new series.
Oh, yes.
And we're excited about this series. We're excited to dig into this thing.
Yes.
We're starting a new series called Triggers and Patterns.
Yes.
Yes, today. But before we get started, we want to remind you, as we do always, we have 2 books available to you, and they're available on our website. And we promise you that these books can be a blessing to you. We have our Marriage Reloaded book that we released in 2019. And then we also have the Marriage Reloaded workbook, which goes along with the book.
Yes.
So you can get both of these books on our website at www.marriagereloadedllc.com. You can get the combo for $40. And I promise you, it's not about money, but this is about being a blessing to the marriage community. So we wanted to have something that could help you in your marriage, to give you some tools.
Yes.
You know, if you can't build anything if you don't have any tools.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a contractor, and so if I don't have a hammer, or if I don't have a drill or different tools, I can't build anything. I'll just be wasting my time, you know, tearing up stuff. So in order to build anything that you're trying to build, you need tools. And that's what these are, tools just to help you in your marriage.
Yes, and I wanted to just share really quickly, this is very personal to us because, you know, this is like a big portion of our life that's compacted in these 2 little books. And we actually put the workbook together because of questions that you need to ask your spouse and things that will help you become more intimate. Because we went through such a tumultuous time in our marriage, we wanted to make sure that we help somebody else. And yours might not be exactly like ours, but any kind of turmoil, if you can get some help, it will help you, you know, or someone that you know, or if you're about to get married and you want to avoid some difficult times. There, we get to the sweet spot in here. I promise you, we do. But we're on the other side now, and so we're paying it forward.
Yes.
Even though you might have to pay for the book, but we're paying it forward in the knowledge that you get from it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go through the same things that we went through, but whatever your journey is,
yes,
make it count.
So we want to dive into this topic, triggers and patterns. We're
Yes.
so excited about it today. And so really want to share with you how this even manifested.
Yes.
It was maybe a year ago. I was doing some things for her birthday, and as I was working on these things, I was trying to keep it a secret. And so one particular day, I was upstairs talking to somebody on the phone about something that I wanted to do for her, and she came upstairs. And she went into her usual routine to come up to take a shower. She said, I'm going to take a shower. So she went in the bathroom and she closed the door and she was in there doing what she do. And so I noticed it. And so I'm like, what's going on with her?
I closed the door.
Yeah, I'm going to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
I looked and I said, what's going on with her? Because usually when she comes upstairs, she'll take a shower. She'll just, the door will be open and she'll just get in the shower. But that particular day she came up and she closed the door.
Right.
Now, in my past experience of patterns, when she closes the door, she's upset. It's like, I'm going to take the shower and I'm closing the door while I'm in here to show you that I'm upset. And so that particular day, she came up and she closed the door. So when she did that, it triggered something in me. And I was like, she's upset about something. And so I got up when she got out the shower, went in the bathroom. I said, hey, what's going on? And she was like, nothing, Jay. I'm going to get myself together and I'm going back downstairs, blah, blah, blah. So then we got into this big, disagreement, this big thing. And it was like, man, and she said, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
But it's because of that particular pattern that she had done something that triggered something in me and made me think that, she was upset, and then it just turned into something that was so unpleasant.
Right.
But we realized from that, that everybody has triggers.
Yes.
Things that trigger you that your spouse may do, and you don't even know why you get emotional or you get upset.
Yeah.
But it's something that triggered. It could be something from the past. It could be something that they did in the past, or somebody else did in the past, and now it triggers you. And because you see the same pattern that somebody else might have did a pattern, and it is an established pattern in your life. Now you see that person doing it, and now you're taking something out on them, emotional hurt on them from something that happened or something that happened in the past.
Right. And so he was on the phone. That was it. And he's like, I got a surprise for you. He likes to taunt you with this stuff. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Yeah, I'm going to do something for you.
You don't like secrets.
I don't like secrets.
That's
I'm going to do this for you. I said, okay. So in my mind, I'm going to here mind my business and take my shower, and I'm going to close the door because
she heard me on the phone.
Right. And I don't want to eavesdrop because, as women, we can do that. So I was like, he keeps saying that he wants to surprise me, so I'm going to let him surprise me. Unbeknownst to me, he's thinking something different because of the past experiences that we had. And I let him know at that moment, I was like, we're not going to do this. I'm going back downstairs and I'm going to watch my movie and I'm going to relax. And when you finish, we can talk because I'm not doing this. I'm not that girl anymore. You're not going to make me act like
I was trying to rile it up. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on?
She dead. She gone. So we actually ended up talking about it.
Yes.
Because this was a teachable moment that we both learned from. And I thank God that it did happen so that we could learn something from this.
Yes.
So these triggers and patterns are things that really happen in relationships.
Yes.
And it can be detrimental.
It can.
It is a form, as we looked it up, of post-traumatic stress.
Yes.
And I know people say, oh, PTSD is not that deep. No, if you've gone through some hard times and it triggers you when a certain pattern comes up, then it is something going on with that.
Yeah.
It is a trigger and a pattern that happens. So we're going to discuss that.
Yeah, we're going to
today.
discuss that. I want to even just read one of the definitions of something that we had as far as triggers are concerned, and we're going to talk about this. It says emotional triggers, also called mental health triggers, or psychological triggers, are things, memories, objects, people that spark intense negative emotions. This change in emotions can be abrupt. In most cases, it will feel more severe than what the trigger would have logically called for.
Yes.
So this thing is, it appears, you like, why are you reacting like this?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to give you an example, and I'm not saying this happened with us, but I'm just going to give you an example. You're used to your spouse, whichever husband or wife, talking on the phone right in front of you. And one particular day, you see them take their phone and go outside and talk. And so now you like, why did they go outside and talk on the phone? You know, why they had to go do that? Who they talking to? Yeah. Are they talking to another woman or another man? They usually talk right in front of me.
Who that?
Yeah, and now they went outside because some type of trigger for you in that trust area, it has triggered something to make you think that, hey, something's going on that shouldn't be going. You always talk on the phone in front of me, but maybe they were doing something special for you and they needed to go outside and discuss it. Or maybe the TV was on and they just say, hey, let me go in another room or something. And so it triggers something in you. And now this big emotional thing happens, this negativity comes in. Now you're angry. Now you're getting ready to, when they come back in, you ready to jump on, pounce. You know, why'd you have to go outside and talk on the phone? Baby, I was just doing it. What? No. You were always talking in front of me. Why you had to do it today? And a trigger happens.
Exactly.
You know, because of something that you've seen, some kind of negative pattern. And like the definition just said, it's not even logically a way that you should be responding. But because of that trigger, it causes an emotion to come up in you.
Yeah, because it touched a sore spot. So, your spouse may not know, or they may have been the offender in this area. And they are working on change, and they're probably not there yet, but there has to be room for change now. There was an injury there.
Right.
So that is why the response is what it is, and it's detriment as it is. So the person is looking like, why is it so deep? But there is a trigger that happened because of the pattern. You changed your pattern.
Right.
So now this is something that needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
Because there's a sore spot there.
It's something there.
Yeah.
And see, it's important to be able to recognize, hey, this is not normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is an abnormal reaction, to something that I've done. You know, you can make a joke about something and the person gets very serious. Yeah. And you're like, why in the world did you get so serious about that?
Yes.
But it's because something from your past has triggered that thing. Something in your you.
Or in your current situation.
Yeah.
You're in the process of changing, but your spouse is not transformed yet.
Right.
And it reminds you of what they did. And it takes you back to that actual moment where your blow up happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I remember many times when we were going through the process of God working on me and changing things in my life. And then you every once in a while you would just come and be like, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? And I was like, hey, where'd this come from?
Yeah.
But it was a trigger. Something happened and it just brought it back up in you again. And then you would come and be like, I just want to understand.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Unresolved issue.
Yeah, because it wasn't completely healed. See, and most of the time what we want to happen when we're dealing with things that have happened in our relationship, men especially, we want to just be done with that thing.
Yep.
How long you gonna hold this over my head?
Yes.
How long?
Yes.
I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? And
And
the woman is like, you got to give me time to process this thing.
Exactly.
I've forgiven you, but I need time to process it. Give me some time to get past this thing. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you, how come it takes you guys, I'm just asking, I'm being angel's advocate.
What is that? That's
what is angel advocate? That's what we say. That's our saying. Angel's advocate.
Okay.
I'm just asking, why does it take that time for you guys to?
Because time heals wounds. And then you have to learn how to trust again. Like, when you've been violated in an area, it's going to take time to trust again. And the patterns have to line up with what you're saying.
Okay.
So, and then, the wound can be so deep, it might have not started with your spouse. It might have started with someone else or something in your childhood that reminds you of this. So then when you get married, it's magnified.
Yeah.
So it takes us time because a lot of times our feelings don't feel like it's validated, or you heard us, or you say, that's why the mirroring technique is so important. I say it, you mirror me, and you tell me a time where you felt, I'm just gonna take this earring off, felt the same way that I felt.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, okay? There was times where James was very dismissive of my feelings, and he was. And I would say to him, you know, I don't know that you feel like I feel. And I did say this, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Can I be real? I hope you feel the way that I feel. I hope you get a chance to experience what the pain that I'm feeling. And it probably wasn't a nice thing to do, but I wanted him to understand how deep this pain went.
Yeah.
And so that's why we don't let go of it, because the pain is so deep. And then it didn't happen once or twice. It happened multiple times.
Right.
So your feelings feel like, you know, it doesn't matter. You just get over it. But it hurts.
Yeah.
And when something hurts so deeply, you have to deal with the pain.
Yeah.
And although we have forgiven, the sting still is there. And then when you see your spouse walking around like nothing ever happened, you know what I'm saying? A day later, it's like that memory. It jogs up, and then a little thing could remind you of what happened. You can just do something wrong or just look a certain way.
Yeah.
It's like, you did it. Why'd you do it? It's a look that you had, that guilty look when you came home when you was eating them Snickers bars. No, I'm just joking.
Right.
I'm just joking. But the guilty look of when you came and confessed whatever your thing was.
Yeah.
You can look at that person, and the enemy comes and plays in place too. I want you to know that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but it just needs to heal. It needs to heal. And we have to forgive ourselves as well for not allowing ourselves to be forthcoming. What do you say? How do you say it?
Forthcoming.
Forthcoming. That's the word. Coming and saying what our actual feelings were initially. Because sometimes as women, we hold on and we won't say anything for a while. And then it just gets to the point where you just blow up and say how you truly feel.
Right.
So that's why we hold on to it.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, I mean, because if you continue, because you're going to continue to hold on to it until you, like one of the things you said that's so true, that you will continue to hold on to that thing or keep bringing it back up until you feel like the person understands you or feels what you feel.
Your pain.
Or they're validating your feelings. It's important, just say to the brothers, to validate that person's feelings and each other, both.
Yeah.
But if a person is telling you something, listen to what they're saying to you. Say, okay, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I understand how it made you feel. Even if you don't completely understand everything, it's important to say, I hear you.
Yeah.
Because that person just wants to be heard. They want you to know, okay, this pain that I'm feeling, I want you to understand it. You know what I'm saying? And so you'll continue to keep hearing it. You don't want to dismiss it and say, well, I said, this is the famous saying.
Yeah.
I said I was sorry.
Yes.
I said I was sorry. So.
And how long are you going to hold this over my head? It's and some women or some women, we do hold it. But as you're trying to transform and let go of these feelings, because we're human and flesh.
Right.
And so as you're trying to let go of these things, the reminder doesn't need to be thrown up in your face. I just want to know how long it's going to take, when we going to have sex, when we going to do this. Give that woman a chance to heal. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give her time to get this right. And it's not right for us to hold it over a person's head. I'm not saying that at all. But time does heal wounds. Yeah. And actions help to heal.
I was going to say that because if time only by itself is not going to heal.
Oh, no.
Because let me tell you a deception that you need to know. Just because men think this. Time's going to pass by, things just going to get better. Women and men think this in a relationship. Oh, I'm just going to let it go and it's going to get better. We've had people and they just think that, okay, they have a problem in their marriage and they think that, okay, as time passes by, it's just going to get better. If you don't do anything, take some type of actions to begin to rectify, to begin to restore, to rebuild and allow God to come in and heal, guess what? Nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to
change.
You'll
just go a year or two go by and then you'll start dealing with that same issue. Yeah. We know because we've dealt with that. Yeah. We've had it where we thought, okay, the little thing died down, and then the next year came, and then here it comes again. Yes. And then you keep seeing that thing pop up in your relationship. You need to do something about it.
Yes. And you do have to check your feelings to make sure that you're not holding unforgiveness long term, especially.
It's true.
Because unforgiveness it can be bitter and rottenness to the soul. And you want your spouse to pay, but actually you're paying. Mm-hmm. So it is time does heal wounds, but you also have to forgive.
Yeah.
And, no matter what happens, forgiveness needs to happen. Because I've heard people say, I'll never forgive.
Yeah.
I'll never. And you become bitter and bitter.
Yes.
Don't become bitter, become better. Don't let anybody take the essence of who you are, because these triggers are real. When the patterns happen, they are real. This is as real as it just happened.
It is. And it's important for both parties in the marriage to realize that at some point you do have to let go. Mm-hmm. You have to release that thing. You have to release that person from that thing. Especially if you see them changing. Oh yeah. This is what can happen. If you see if you see the patterns of your spouse changing, they're getting better. Mm-hmm. They're growing. They're changing. Mm-hmm. You have to begin to pay attention to that and acknowledge it. Yeah. Okay? Because after a while, if that person is changing, and you're not acknowledging it, and you're not saying, okay, I see things are different. You're not the same as you used to be. Then they're going to get discouraged. Hope deferred, the Bible says, maketh the heart sick. Yeah. And so if I'm working on myself, I'm becoming better, I'm changing my patterns, I'm not doing the same stuff I used to do, but you just still holding on to that thing, after a while, I'm going to say, I'm going to be like, okay, now, I've been working, I've been doing things, trying to do better, I'm doing the best I can. Yeah. I'm not just sitting still, but I'm a moving thing. I'm moving, I'm going. I'm working on this thing. I'm putting my time into it, but it seemed like you're not going to let this thing go. Yeah, I remember that. I remember us going through that particular thing. He would do one thing, and I would go down a list. You did this, you did that, you did this. I'm the one that needs to be apologized to. Pride kicks in. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong as two left shoes, but because he did one thing, I will go down this whole list of everything that he did to offend me, which let me know I haven't forgiven him. Right. That's when you know that unforgiveness is there, when you go down the whole list. I'm not saying it's not a sore spot. Right. But the list, if you see the person, he was changing. But I would go down that list. Mm-hmm. And that's when you recognize, okay, I have to forgive him for those things. He's changing, but it is still a sore spot. Yeah, it's a trigger. It's a trigger. It's still a trigger, but you have to begin to know how to pay attention to it. That negative feeling that comes up, because it can be the enemy. The enemy can't come in. Sure. One of the other things that we said here, that we've researched this to make sure we're not just giving you, we're giving you facts. Right. This is not fiction. This is real stuff. Right. Emotional triggers are hot buttons that elicit powerful negative emotions. Yeah. Emotional triggers can develop from insecurities or times when others hurt you in the past. Mm-hmm. The reason why they're so troubling is that they often make you react instead of calmly discussing what's bothering you with your partner. Yeah. So that's why they're so alarming, because they make you react to what your spouse is doing, because it's a trigger for you. Yeah. So we have to be careful, because instead of you responding to the situation, you're reacting to it. Yes. And now you have these issues popping up in your marriage, and you're like, oh my God, what is going on? Oh, yes. But it's because that trigger has not been dealt with. Unresolved. Unresolved. So we have to be definitely attentive to that. And another thing that we had here is, we got so much information. Emotional triggers can cause people to react in many different ways. Some responses include yelling, being mean, becoming closed off, crying, or blaming. No matter how you react to your triggers, the takeaway is that you're trying to cope with unresolved pain. Yep. So some of the reactions they said, blaming, becoming closed off, crying, being mean, yelling. Yeah. These different reactions are because of unresolved pain. A lot of people have unresolved pain, and they're responding by yelling. They're responding. Some people become closed off. You're like, hey, they come home, they go they go upstairs and go in the room. You're like, hey, can we talk? What's going on? And they're closed off, and you're like, what's the deal? Deuces. And you're like, I don't even want to see you right now. I don't
Yeah.
want you touching my feet in the bed. And you're
Yeah.
like, what is
Been
going
there.
on? And all these things, these
Yes.
emotional reactions are happening. And the other person really is trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes the person knows what they did, but it's
Yeah.
like they're trying to figure out, hey, why can't we move on past this?
Yeah. Sometimes it's even deeper than what the spouse has done.
Yeah.
To injure you. Sometimes it's even deeper. It comes from childhood. It comes from other relationships and friendships and mistrust.
Yeah.
And now you got married, and here we go again.
Yes.
So this is where the layers,
Baggage.
the baggage, and the onion layers have to be peeled back.
Yes.
You know, because now this is a deeper issue. It's a deep-seated issue.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the injury of the spouse is not real.
Right.
What I'm saying is we got to start peeling back these layers.
Yeah.
Because now I brought baggage in, you brought baggage in. So we have to start unpacking these bags.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what a person has. If I love you, you love me, you like ice cream, I do too, and we're just skipping and we get married. But then when we get married, we start coming and unpacking those bags and seeing what's really inside. I didn't even like myself at one point, because I was becoming something that I know that I wasn't. And that was because I didn't understand that marriage brings out things that you never knew you had going on. That is ministry. Let me tell you something. When you get married, you getting ready to get ministered to, okay? You're gonna have to, you think you love Jesus, boo? Let me tell you something. The death, burial, and resurrection has to come forth in Jesus' name. Your spouse is going to test you to no limit. So those that are single that want to be married, get yourself together, baby. Get yourself together with God. You're going to have to bring a bag of patience. You have to bring some other stuff in your bags, and the things that you didn't know you had in your bag. Like when mom and them told you was the greatest thing on earth, and your husband say your boo-boo really does stink, you're going to have to deal with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So these triggers and patterns come as a result of the things that we've had for a long time and we brought into the marriage.
Yeah.
And then we have to deal with this stuff.
Yes.
Layer by layer. Okay.
Yeah, and some of the triggers, we wanted to share some of our own personal triggers. One of my triggers was just growing up, just dealing with like some different things as far as like criticism and things like that.
Yeah.
And from people around me.
Yeah.
And it caused a trigger in me.
Oh, yes.
I didn't want nobody telling me nothing. I was like Kanye West, you can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. You ain't gonna tell me how to dress.
Yeah.
Don't criticize me. I didn't want you saying anything to me. And many times when you would say stuff, I would overreact to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you were like, wait a minute.
What's going on?
I'm not those people in your childhood.
Yeah.
That's what she would tell me.
Yeah.
But it felt like the same thing that the people in my childhood were doing to me. That felt like she was doing it to me.
Yep.
It was so real to me. Like I could just go right back to that place when I was a young man, a teenager and all young, and the person telling me things, but they didn't have my best interests at hand.
And that's
See,
what
that's
I
the
said.
difference.
That's
At
what I
that
said.
time when I was young, those people did not have my best interests at hand. So when they did things to me to put me down, I it hurt me.
Right.
Because I didn't feel any love in those things. And now you're here loving me and lovingly trying to tell me, listen, you need to work on this, or I think you should do this. And I'm like, no, I ain't trying to hear you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You ain't gonna tell me nothing. You can't tell me what to do.
I wear what I
was
want to wear. I'm wearing this.
I just said, I suggested another type of shirt, and I got beat up.
Trigger.
Tongue lash, I'm just joking. But I knew that something, I was like, okay, what's up with that? I can't say anything. And he was like, I don't want nobody telling me I wear what shirt I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna leave you alone, bro. I'll go buy you another shirt. I don't want you to buy me. Okay? I'm gonna leave you alone.
Yeah. But guess what?
Yeah.
And then so we had to begin to unpack this thing. We had to begin to sit down and say, okay, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
Why am I, these triggers happening to me?
Yes.
And then I realized, okay, this is childhood trauma.
Right.
And then I realized she loves me. So when she's telling me something, she's not trying to tear me down. She's not trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
She's really trying to help me to grow, to trying to help me to do some things differently.
Yeah.
And so once I realized that, then I could let my guard down.
Yeah.
And just receive from her.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
that's when things begin to change. Once we realize what my triggers, some of my triggers, that's just
Yes.
one trigger I had.
Yeah.
Some of my triggers were.
Yeah.
And so so that's how it has to happen. You have to begin to recognize, okay,
Yes.
this trigger is a pattern that happened when I was growing up, and now I'm thinking it's coming back again, but it's really not.
Right.
Yeah.
I had plenty of triggers. I don't
Yeah.
even know where to start with mine.
We-
But I just
Go
want
ahead.
to, you tell me, can you remember like just something that you would do or say, and I would just go bananas?
I mean, we had some of them. We had written some of them down. Let me see here.
It's so many. I don't even
You said
know,
this. You said that growing up, 'cause it's good to have notes.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have to close out after this. But you said not feeling almost validated all the time.
Yeah.
Growing up, and so
Yeah.
of course when you felt like I wasn't validating you because it had happened in the past. Now.
Yes.
It triggered something in you, and there was a very sore spot for you,
Right,
to feel like I'm not validating your feelings or not listening to you.
Right. So we only have a few minutes, but I really want to talk really quickly about I had to become my own cheerleader because I grew up in a single parent home. Not my mom's fault that she was working all the time.
Right.
And so I had to go ahead and do things, and I became an overachiever because of that, needing the validation. So I had all kind of awards and scholarships, majorette, drum major, just in everything, and became my own cheerleader. As we went to counseling, that's when I realized, he said, you become your own cheerleader. And so I started saying, I don't need nobody. So then when I really opened up, I needed that from my spouse to just tell me, hey, listen, I need you to, you understand how I feel.
Right.
Not that you're this, you're that, but I needed him to, if I had something serious because I was so tough, he wouldn't take me serious and see the softer side of me.
Right.
And that was important.
Yeah. And so we have run out of time.
Yes.
But guess what? On this new series, we have so much more
my
to share
goodness, yes.
with you about triggers and patterns. And so we're excited to start on this journey with you.
Yes.
And we want you to continue, like we said, continue to like and subscribe to the channel so that you can see the content that's coming on the Kingdom Rock Network. And also, you can go to Roku TV and you can download the channel, the Kingdom Rock Network channel, and you can see all the content on there, and also the marriage content, but also sermons and ministry from other people that are on the channel.
Yes.
And so we want to thank you so much. We're going to be looking forward to just going on this journey with you with these triggers and patterns.
Yes.
We know this is something that God has given us to help the marriage community.
Yes.
So we want to thank you again for tuning in with us today, and we will see you next time on the Kingdom Rock Network. Have a blessed day.
Awesome.